Care Act into law.
Okay, you talked about Republican promises to repeal it. Now they're going to be, they're going to have to be accountable for what comes next. But today, Steve Scalise said that, the president himself made promises that if you like your health care, you can keep it, and that he should actually be apologizing. What's your response to that?
My response is simply that the president's record on the Affordable Care Act speaks for itself. When the president-elect put forward his nominee to be the Secretary of Health and Human Services, Congressman Tom Price, I predicted that at some point in his tenure as the Secretary of Health and Human Services, he'll stand at this podium and be putting forward a plan that he believes is the right one for the country. And I said at the time that it should be measured against the progress that President Obama has made in reforming our healthcare system. And I feel strongly about that. And whether that's expanding access for healthcare so that 20 million Americans have access to healthcare, reducing the uninsured rate in this country to all-time lows, limiting the growth in healthcare costs, preventing people from being discriminated against because they have a pre-existing condition, preventing people from having to declare bankruptcy because somebody in their family gets sick, preventing women from being charged more for their health insurance by their insurance company just because they get sick, extending the life of the Medicare Trust Fund, reducing the deficit by $3 trillion over 20 years. That's the standard that President Obama has set. That is the way that the American people can and should judge the president's record when it comes to healthcare reform. And it's a record that the president's enormously proud of, not just because of the politics, but because of the impact that it's had on the lives of millions of people all across the country. That's what he came into office promising to do. That's what he campaigned on 9 years ago in 2008 when he was crisscrossing the country, was taking on the kinds of tough challenges that Washington had been ignoring for too long. And Democratic and Republican presidents for 100 years had tried, or at least considered trying, to take on the notion of health care reform. President Obama took it on and succeeded in getting it done, and he's enormously proud of that.